Welcome to Outlaw Woodworking.
Work hard, get dough. I can't get no sleep, please make my life more simple. But I wouldn't trade a thing for what I have. I go hard, do what I need to make it last. They say the good die young, I hope I'm back. Cheers to my past.
Today we're going to talk about foam blocks versus the snap tie system when you're doing a foundation. And previously I built my garage foundation using the snap tie system, but it requires a lot of 3/4 inch plywood, a lot of snap ties, and it's a lot of work. And I've seen, and I think to do this, the foundation for my garage, I did it by myself, and I spent about a week putting this thing together, getting it ready for inspection, and then pouring it. And that's a lot of work compared to if you buy the foam blocks, you can basically put the whole foam block deal together in one day. And so this little house that I'm building behind my garage, I decided to go ahead and use the foam blocks. Now, so the garage foundation with the snap tie system, like I said, it took me about a week to do by myself. Now this foam blocks, you can do in about 2 days with rebar and everything and have it ready to pour. The thing I didn't like about it was after you're done pouring this, what I didn't like about it is troweling it. So like Legos, you have those little divots on top that interlock the blocks. So you kind of have to trowel in between those to basically get a nice smooth surface. And it's not like when you have a plywood form, you can trowel to the top edge of that plywood, so you have a really nice top edge. And I didn't think the top edge of this foam block system turned out as good as the snap tie system. It was a lot less work though. So like I said, you can put this whole thing together in a couple days. You could even do it in a day if you had a little help, but a couple days, no problem, one person. Now, so the way this system works is basically on this foundation, I'll show you a little picture of what goes on. There's a little wall that gets built on the inside of this footing, on the inside of this wall. And then there's also another one going down the center and then one on the back. And you fly your I-joist across the top of that and then you butt it up to this foam. And it's a pretty good system. It's not too bad. It's easy to do. Like I said, I'm doing this all by myself, so it's I need it to be as simple as possible. But like I said, on the foam block, I didn't quite like the top edge. It wasn't quite. I ended up using my grinder and cleaning off quite a bit of the top of these walls to get it nice and level, so that when I started my framing, that I would start off with something really nice and level. Now so basically what I did was after I finished pouring this foam block wall, I took my laser and I lasered the inside of this foam and marked the whole inside. And I picked the best spot and basically used that as my reference point, and then built all the pony walls on the inside. And then I flew the I-joist across, and if I needed a shim here or there, I would use some steel shims on the bottom of the I-joist or on the bottom of the wall. Right here you can see it's nice having a TOOLCAT to lift this. I'm using AVID floor subfloor. Now this is a 3/4 inch subfloor material, and it's really moisture. It's the first time I've used it. It's a tongue and groove, and my I-joists are 16 inches on center, and this plywood is actually really moisture resistant. Matter of fact, I spilt, my wife had brought me a glass of water, and I had kicked it over by accident, and it beaded right off this stuff. Like it beaded right off of it. So I'm pretty happy with this plywood actually. It seems like And since I'm going to be covering this thing up for the winter, right now we're into winter, so it's not the greatest time right now because it's pretty cold. And so I'm basically going to finish this floor, finish this slub floor, and I've ordered this giant 30 by 60 tarp, and I'm going to cover up this whole project, and then I'm going to just come back when the snow melts because we'll be getting ready to have some snow pretty soon, and I'm kind of in a rush to get this floor in. But yeah, that's what I've been doing lately. Now, the other thing is, so I'm using this Advantech floor, and also I'm using ring shank nails. And one of the things about the ring shank nails, you don't want to bury them into the plywood. So I adjust my air compressor so it basically is shooting these things flush with the plywood, and then if one's sticking up a little bit, I'll pound it down with my hammer. So there's no nails are blowing through this, and that'll keep your floor nice, a lot nicer than if you were blowing through them. Yeah, but basically that's what I've been up to. And so would I use the foam blocks again? I guess the answer is yes. But I think I would cut the tops of them, run them through a table saw, and I think that would be a lot better because it'd be nicer if you could just take your trowel and trowel right over the top of it, and then you'd have a really nice smooth top. It did come out, but I did have to work a little harder. Like I said, I took my grinder and I cleaned up the whole top of it with my grinder around the whole thing so that this thing would sit really nice and level. Anyway, yeah, that's my, I guess, yeah, the foam blocks are easier than the snap tie system, but they do come with like I said, a couple little issues. The other interesting thing about the foam blocks is when you waterproof the outside, so it is a good insulating factor because you just leave the foam there on the inside and outside. But the waterproofing part, so I used pretty expensive rubber waterproofing material on the outside of this foam. And the one thing I noticed that happens is if I lean my ladder up against the black membrane, and it's stuck to that membrane, and then when I pulled it off, it pulls the foam off. Not all the way, but it'll pull pieces of the foam off. So you can't really leave the foam exposed. So when I grade around this little project, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some galvanized sheet metal and have it bent. And then that way, when I slope the ground away from this house, you won't see the foam. You'll just see this galvanized sheet metal that'll protect the foam from deteriorating, because it won't do good outside. It just doesn't hold up from what I hear. Anyway, that's what I've been up to. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, like the video, and I will see you next time. Later.
hard, get dough. I can't get no sleep, please make my life more simple. But I wouldn't trade a thing for what I have. I go hard, do what